We're going to be experiencing a little bit of deja vu here on this video as we follow just like the previous one, where we continue working on Tormented Demons by picking up a Greater Demons task. And then we followed up by getting sidetracked a little bit, doing some group content with some clanmates, and getting some combat achievements, but this time at Hueycoatl. We are once again starting another video off with a Greater Demons task. 237 of them this time around. I swear I've been looking for a Black Demons task and I've been doing quite a lot of Slayer, a lot of skipping. As you can see in the chat box, we just finished skipping by doing 17 birds from Aya. Unfortunately though, we get another Greater Demons task, or maybe not unfortunately, because we do need to do them, but I've been looking for a Black Demons task hoping for some Zenites. But we have our chance at getting our first Tormented Synapse, so let's gear up for that. So we're gearing up on 416 here for Tormented Demons once again, and I needed to trade some supplies over and decant some potions, but if you see over in our potion storage on Wait For It's bank, we got a whopping 3 doses of prayer pots. That's because we chucked in all that we had left, which happened to be 63 into the group storage, and 10 more Bracelet of Slaughters. When I've been saying we're down bad on potions, man, I did not think we were this down bad. At some point, we're going to have to halt progress on 416 Hero and just go in full recovery mode. But let's see if we can get through this Greater Demons task. Back over on 416 Hero's perspective, let's go ahead and take out these prayer pots and these Bracelet of Slaughters. Just rolled up to the Tormented Demons, and I had to world hop 10-15 times to find a world, no big deal. But it is a Friday, so it's probably a little bit more packed than usual. And right as I'm farming this first Tormented Demon, I made the realization that I forgot my Burning Claws. So KCs are going to be a little bit slower on this first trip, I guess. After that first KC of the trip, getting one singular battle staff, by the way, we're currently at KC 606. Well, the other day when I was talking about getting a third Burning Claw drop, well, we just got it. So now we have 2 sets of Burning Claws, one for each account. That third Burning Claw was at KC 615. Now, hopefully, we get a Synapse on the next unique drop. So I mentioned this in the past with the little stat boosts that Tormented Demons occasionally drop. This one's stepping all over it right now, but we finally got a Smoldering Heart. I believe this one is a stat boost. There we go, and it lasts for 2 minutes. So, we're going to make good use of this one. Truly funny how RNG works, because like I said, we haven't seen very many of these Smoldering Hearts, but here we are with a second one in the same trip. Little bit of a break in the action here as we desperately need to recover some prayer potions. Pretty much ever since the creation of this account, we've been burning up prayer potions left and right. And on top of that, even on Wait For It, we've been doing content like Yama and Fasani's Nightmare, which also takes up a lot of supplies. Previously, we've been upkeeping supplies because we just simply raid a lot, day in and day out. And raids like Chambers of Xerix and the Theater of Blood simply give you a lot of herbs. So I never had to do herb runs or anything of that nature, nor do I have the Kingdom running. But we are incredibly down bad now because as you can see, when I search prayer potions in my bank, the 46 4 doses and some change, this is pretty much all I have left between both accounts. This is a far cry and a huge difference from when I used to have over 2,000 prayer pots easily. Now, we're not completely out of luck here because as you can see, it's shifting over to the herb tab, sort of, it's a little bit of a mess on this account, but here you can see that we have 1,000 Snape Grass. We have a couple of Renar Potion unfinished, and I'm sure somewhere we can find some Renards. We got 11 grimy ones right here. And definitely on the other account, we have some more as well. So let's get started making some of these Renard potions, or prayer potions rather. Digging through the other account's bank, this is what I have to work with. About 9 unfinished potions, 400 grimy ones, 90 Renard weed. So we'll be able to make about another 400 prayer pots, give or take. While I was working on the prayer potions, I got invited to do some Hueycoatl. Now, I think we're here mostly for the GM time, but for me, I haven't been to Huey at all on this account, so not only will we get that combat task, but we'll be picking up several other ones as well. We haven't been primarily focusing on combat achievements by any means, but Just due to circumstances and playing with the clan, looks like we're racking up some combat achievements and we're going to be on the hard tier in no time. Let's go over the setup real quick. We're going to be in Blood Moon with the Scythe on Crush. We also have the Burning Claws as a spec weapon, and we're going to be using the dualies for pretty much half the fight. Anytime we have to hit the tail, we're going to be using the dualies instead of the Scythe, but on the main boss, we're going to be scything it down. So to start off, we're just going to do a regular... Oh, that is awkward. I've never been here, so I have to talk to the NPC real quick. I was getting ready to go in. They're in there already. Okay, now I can join. Fantastic. Before I was rudely interrupted, I was just going to say we're sending a quick run just to get reaccustomed to the boss because many of us, in fact, probably all three of us haven't been to this boss in quite some time. And you need to get the instance set up anyways in order to get the best possible times. We are on Thralls, the Archaea spellbook. And right now we're just doing a regular KC. We're not going to dump any specs. We're going to save it for the next run. So that is one KC down. Very slow KC, but we got Hueycoatl champion, which I imagine is just one KC. And some Avanto seeds for our efforts. Pillar Lover, another combat achievement. So that was actually another setup. Now we're going to go for a speed time. Here we go. Already made a mistake. I should be using the dualies here. I generally don't know how this is going. I just know that if we can down the tail and not only hit the tail on the left side, the west side here, and then one time on the east side, and then back on the boss, then we're at a decent pace. So ideally, we want to be done with the tail on this east side right now. Let's get our Thrall running again. See if we can get it down. We do. Let's take the opportunity to eat back up a little bit here. We've been tanking damage. Peppy here is saying that we have a bit of unlucky hits right now, so maybe this time won't be so good. I don't know whether to hold my spec or use it then. I don't know. I guess I'll just hold it. And we get a 238, which is a massive improvement from the first two runs we did. So the target time we're after right now is a 230. Considering on our first real attempt we just got a 238, I don't think this is going to be an issue. Just a couple of more runs and surely we'll get it done. The annoying thing about doing Huey speed times is that you need to do a setup KC. Another location I can think of where this is the case as well is Duke, and I'm sure there's a few other bosses like that as well. To be honest, I don't like the fact that you have to do that. Okay, the setup KC has been completed. We just got 5 Quorum seeds out of that. Let's get ready for another speed attempt. Why am I hitting so many zeros on this thing, man? Jeez. Resummon Thrall so it doesn't take 10 years to walk up here. Let's throw down a spec. Fantastic. I'm gonna be honest, the DPS there did not look good on the first part of the tail. Maybe we'll make up for it here. Looks like we're doing good DPS. We need to get this down. That is unfortunate. I'm gonna go into the group storage here and I'm gonna snag the Amulet of Rancor just to make sure we get that little bit of DPS boost. In fact, it's probably a pretty big DPS boost if you compare it to the Amulet of Fury. Hopefully that's gonna help a little bit. Here we go, another speed attempt. My claws miss. That's not a great start. That felt quick. Oh, we get Hueycoatl hide. 2 of them. Let's go. We didn't get the time though. And we weren't even close, but we got some hide. And here comes another attempt. Let's get our thralls going. Back-to-back Blood Moon set procs 3 times in a row, 4 times in a row. This is what we like to see. 5, 6. Oh my. It doesn't. 7. Oh my. 8. 8 times in a row. I'm not sure I've ever seen that happen before. Sheesh. This is surely the run. The Blood Moon set is procking like crazy. If you didn't know, the Blood Moon set effect procs and saves you an extra tick between attacks. $229. I think we just barely squeezed by it, but we got it done. There we go. Pick up our dead thirds. Just like that. A whole bunch more of the times. In fact, we got the elite time, the master time, and the grandmaster time all in one go. So we're just yapping a little bit after having done the speed time, and I'm talking to them about how we started that KC proccing the blood moon set effect 8 times in a row. Pulling up the wiki, it says that every successful hit chance, you get a 33% chance of the set effect proccing. And we just did that 8 straight times to start with. Sheesh. So obviously we didn't do all the combat achievements. There's plenty more to do at Huey, but it was nice to bump up our points even more, and we're closer and closer to the hard tier. The Huey adventures are over and we're back to TDs. I did finish up all the prayer potion making though, and we are currently up to around 400 something potions, give or take. That should last us for a good while longer, but at some point we do need to go into recovery mode. We are cruising through the KCs at Tormented Demons now. I meant to check in at KC 700 flat, but we're working on 702 already. With the knowledge that we're only reaching about 30 something KC an hour, and now that we're well over 700 KC, I decided it's time to bring out the big guns, trade over some more gear to use from Wait For It to 416 Hero. So we busted out the T-bow and a couple of other accessories like the Anguish, the Van braces, and whatnot. And we're just going to try to speed up the grind a bit. We've already spent over 20 hours here, and honestly, I didn't know what to expect going into this grind, but I did not expect such a long one, that's for sure. So we're going to be T-bowing from this point on. My first impressions with the T-bow at the Tormented Demons is that this thing is absolutely busted. But it should be no surprise because I do think the Twisted Bow is the best mega rare out of the 3. It is simply just so versatile, and it's probably the cheapest one to use. I'm currently using Amethyst arrows. Now in hindsight, it's crazy to think that I was using the Atlatl and the blowpipe for that long. But I did have my fun with the Atlatl while knowing that it definitely wasn't optimal, to be fair. The blowpipe, honestly, I don't know, maybe I just got put into a lull here of grinding TDs and just kind of forgot about using the Twisted Bow. Although, to be fair, I was a little reluctant to trade over the Twisted Bow because this isn't a dupe. With the Shadow and Scythe, not that I've been using the Scythe here, those are duplicates that just always sit on this account now. The Twisted Bow, not so much. We only have one in the GIM group, and I like to keep non-duplicates on the main account. But upon realizing that I've spent over 20 hours here already grinding Tormented Demons, while only hitting the drop rate for one synapse, being at 743 KC right now, I decided, you know what, I need to speed this up one way or another. Especially with the circumstances that I'm in as a group Ironman. The rules I set are really just arbitrary rules, and it's not like I'm playing a solo, where I just simply don't have a Twisted Bow. I think another factor that made me delay switching to using the Twisted Bow for so long is the Tumikin's Shadow that we've been using. With the way the Tumikin's Shadow works, magic damage percentage is very important. Now, as a 50 defense account, we're pretty limited. Obviously, we don't have access to Ancestral or Eternal boots, and as such, that actually nerfs the Shadow quite a bit. But I guess my brain is mush from just grinding Tormented Demons all day, every day. And I didn't really think about that. And my brain just went to, you know what? I'm using a Mega Rare and it's not all that good. So no way the Twisted Bow is going to be good. But obviously, that's not the case. The Twisted Bow reigns supreme.